Welcome to our weekly Zoom news conference. I'm Sandy Close, Director of Ethnic Media Services. We are honored to co-host today's briefing with the Internal Revenue Service. The agency's interest in speaking with ethnic media is an important recognition by a federal agency of the sector's role in communicating with the country's diverse immigrant populations and communities of color. The speakers will provide an update on the advanced child tax credit payments, including who qualifies, payment dates for the remainder of the year, and online tools to help taxpayers sign up for and manage their payments. They will also provide information about the upcoming filing season. We welcome back Ken Corbin, Chief Taxpayer Experience Officer and Wage and Investment Commissioner, and Susan Simon, Director, Customer Assistance, Relationships, and Education. We will email bios of each speaker and the Zoom video after the conference. Reporters, this is our moment in time to ask questions to the IRS. These are two terrific respondents. To our speakers, please speak slowly, as I'm doing, for our interpreters who are simultaneously interpreting in Spanish, Mandarin, and Korean. And it's easy to get caught up with your presentation and forget that somebody is tracking everything you say. If you use numbers, sometimes it's hard. Did he say 15 or 50? So anything you can do to keep in mind, we have three great interpreters working with us. Now I turn the microphone over to EMS Associate Editor, veteran political reporter and author, Pilar Marrero.
Hi, everyone. Good Friday. And thank you for being with us. And please get your questions ready. This is the moment to get everything you want answered by the IRS. So take advantage of it. And with this, I welcome our first speaker, Mr. Ken Corbin, that Sandy has already introduced. Mr. Corbin.
All right. Thank you, Pilar. And good afternoon to everyone. You know, now that filing season has ended, and now that we have concluded the past filing season, we are just a few short months away from the beginning of the next filing season. As everyone knows, April 15th is tax day. To give people more time to file, this past year, we extended the due date until May 17th this year. But many taxpayers requested additional time or an extension of time to file. That extended due date is today, October the 15th. We are expecting an influx of returns, but we also expect that the vast majority of those returns will be processed quickly. Since the filing season ended, we've also delivered billions of dollars in advance child tax credit payments to families across the country. The American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 enhanced the child tax credit, one of the country's most used tax credits. In previous years, the child tax credit was worth up to $2,000 per qualifying child under the age of 17. For 2021, it is up to $3,000 for each qualifying child age 6 through 17. Let me say that again. For 2021, it's up to $3,000 for each qualifying child age 6 through 17, and $3,600 per qualifying child under the age of 6. Also, for 2021, the new law enhanced the credit by making it fully refundable for certain taxpayers. This means that taxpayers can benefit from the credit even if they don't have earned income or don't owe any income taxes. That's a very important point. So I want to stress that again. This means that taxpayers can receive this credit even if they don't have earned income or don't owe any income taxes. These advance payments of the child tax credit are expected to help more than 39 million households. But to help you all figure out what to do about this credit, I'm going to share with you some very good tools that are available at irs.gov on the internet. Let me start with the first tool. We call it the Eligibility Assistance Tool. Taxpayers can check their eligibility for the advanced child tax credit payments by using the Advanced Child Tax Credit Eligibility Assistant on irs.gov. Let me say that again, because that's a lot. It is called the Advanced Child Tax Credit Eligibility Assistant on irs.gov. This tool is interactive and easy to use. By answering a series of questions about themselves and their family members, a parent or other family member can quickly determine whether they qualify for the credit. Though anyone can use this tool, it may be particularly useful to taxpayers who are not required to file a federal tax return and have not yet filed either a tax year 2019 or tax year 2020 return. Often, these are taxpayers who receive little or no income. This includes those taxpayers who could be experiencing homelessness, low-income households, and other underserved groups. Using this tool can help taxpayers decide whether they should take the next step or register for the child tax credit payments using the non-filer sign-up tool. This eligibility tool is available in English and in Spanish. The second tool is the non-filer sign-up tool, and it is used to report qualifying children born before 2021. We recommend this tool if a taxpayer isn't required to file a 2020 tax return, didn't file one, and doesn't plan to. We also recommend this tool if the taxpayer has gross income in 2020 of less than the applicable standard deduction amount and has a main home in the United States for more than half the year. As a bonus, this tool can be used for taxpayers who did not get the full amount of the first 2 rounds of the economic impact payments in 2020. The third tool I want to share with you today is called the Child Tax Credit Update Portal. This tool allows families to make various updates. First, it lets families unenroll or opt out of the advance payments if they are already receiving advanced child tax credit payments. You may ask, why would a taxpayer opt out of the advance payments? Simple. Taxpayers may prefer to claim the full credit when filing their 2021 tax returns next year in 2022. Or taxpayers may already know that they won't be eligible for the child tax credit for the 2021 tax years. This tool also allows users to update information for the advanced child tax credit payments. Families can use this update portal to verify their eligibility for payments, switch from a paper check to direct deposit, change the account where their payments are directed to, and update their address. Look for new features on this portal in the coming weeks that will allow taxpayers to add or remove children in most situations, report a change in their marital status, or report a significant change in income. An eligible taxpayer may receive 1/2 of the estimated 2021 child tax credit as an advance payment. The advanced child tax credit payments are made in equal monthly installments from July through December of 2021. Eligible taxpayers who have a main home in the US for more than half the year qualify for the advance credit. Again, remember, even if they do not have earned income. Some key things to know about these advance payments is that an advance payment is not taxable for federal income tax purposes. And also, these advance payments are not counted as income when determining eligibility for or amounts of benefits or assistance under any federal program or under any state or local program financed in whole or in part with federal funds. These payments can't be offset for overdue taxes from previous years. Let me say that again. These payments cannot be offset for overdue taxes from previous years, other federal or state debts, or past due child support payments. Once IRS has issued the advanced child tax credit payments, some of these payments are not exempt, though, from garnishment by non-federal creditors under federal law. However, some states and financial institutions have chosen to protect these payments. Taxpayers can reconcile their advanced child tax credit payments with the child tax credit they claim on their 2021 tax returns in the 2022 filing season. That's a lot. Basically, you can reconcile your advance payments and get the other half of your advanced child tax credit payment next filing season in 2022. An important thing that I really want everyone to hear today is what I'm about to say. So I'm going to say it more than once. We will send letters to taxpayers showing the amount of the advanced child tax credit and the economic impact payments they received this year. It is very important that families hold on to these letters, as they will be needed to accurately fill out their 2021 federal income tax. Let me say that again. The IRS in January of 2022 will be sending to recipients of the advanced child tax credit payments and the economic impact payments they received this year a letter that tells you how much you received in 2021. This information is important to make sure that when you file your 2021 returns, it will match IRS records. Now, I know when you get an envelope from the IRS, you may think, I'm not going to open that letter. It's so important that you open that letter and have that information available in January when you get ready to file your 2021 tax return. And this is important for most families because the advance payments they are receiving during 2021 cover only half of the total credit you're entitled to. Remember, you will have to file a tax year 21 return to get the other half of the child tax credits. Let me take a moment to talk about some other tax benefits. The child tax credit isn't the only tax credit that was impacted by the American Rescue Plan Act. There are also updates to the Earned Income Tax Credit. For 2021 only, more childless workers can qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit. The maximum credit is nearly tripled for these taxpayers. For those with no dependents, it's up to $1,502. That's up from $538 in 2020. It can be claimed by eligible workers who are at least 19 years of age, full-time students, under the age of 24 don't qualify. For 2021, taxpayers can also choose to figure the EITC using their 2019 income, as long as it was higher than their 2021 income. In some instances, this option will give you a larger credit. So let me say that again, because that's important for everyone to know. For 2021, taxpayers can also choose to figure their earned income tax credit using their 2019 income, as long as it's higher than their 2021 income. In some instances, this option will give you a larger credit. Some other changes apply to 2021 and future years. Singles and couples who have Social Security numbers can claim the credit, even if their children don't have Social Security numbers. Let me say that again. Singles and couples who have Social Security numbers can claim the earned income tax credit, even if their children don't have SSNs. In this instance, they would get the smaller credit available to childless workers. In the past, these filers did not qualify for the credit. More workers and working families who also have investment income can get the credit. Starting in 2021, the limit on investment income is increased to $10,000. After 2021, the $10,000 limit is indexed for inflation. The current limit is $3,650. Married but separate spouses can choose to be treated as not married for EITC purposes in certain circumstances. As you can see, there are a lot of very valuable tax credits available. The main message is to file a tax return or use the non-filer tool to claim them. And if you have a question about your eligibility, please use the tools that are available on irs.gov and our frequently asked questions section on irs.gov answers a lot of the common questions that we see. For right now, these advanced payments for the child tax credit go through December of 2021. And with that, I'll turn it back or turn it over to Sue to talk a little bit more information about our message for you today.
Before we go to Sue, we go to the moderator. Thank you so much, Mr. Corbin.
Sure.
Because there are lots of questions in the chat, and there are many things that we want to find answers to. Although your very clear, detailed, and slow presentation was an interpreter's dream, because I didn't get a single message saying, slow down, slow down.
Good.
Okay. You mentioned 3 tools. I think there were 3.
Yes.
Can you tell us where to find these 3 tools? Or do you have, if you said, I think you gave us the first location, but can you repeat that, what the tools are?
Yes, absolutely. There are 3 tools available for the child tax credit. All 3 tools are on the landing page of irs.gov. The tools are the Eligibility Assistant, which will help you determine if you're eligible. The second tool is the non-filer tool, which will allow you to provide the information to the IRS that we need in order to compute your child tax credit. And the third tool is the Child Tax Credit Update Portal, which allows you to provide updated information about the payments that you are receiving. I'd also have to put a plug in for our frequently asked questions section on irs.gov. It answers questions from how to track your payment to eligibility questions to any kind of issues that we are seeing with the process. All great resources for anyone out there who has questions about the advanced child tax credit.
Great. Okay, let's go through some of the questions in the chat. So the first question came from Mark Hedden, and he said, is today the absolute deadline for filing extensions?
So if you have filed for an extension, October 15th is the day that you should file your return, which is today. But, you know, I would say what's more important is that you file an accurate return. If you have filed for an extension with us here at the IRS, try to get your returns filed with us today.
Okay, Peter White, did your question get answered? You had a question regarding receiving the child tax credit if you don't file a Form 1040. Did it get answered?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Do you have any other question?
Nope, thanks.
Okay, let's move on then. Mohsin Sahir, can you ask your question from Urdu News? Mohsin, are you there? Okay, I think I'm going to ask the question. He said he talked about undocumented parents.
Yeah. Oh,
okay, go ahead.
yeah. So my question is about undocumented immigrants, parents especially. They are asking, are they eligible to receive child tax credit for their child born in USA or not born in USA? And second, as you mentioned before, and if you can elaborate that point, that whatever the money is being received by the parents, that will be taken off in the next tax return.
Yes, two excellent questions. So to be eligible for the advanced child tax credit, one of the parents or guardians must have a social security number. For the children or the other parent, they should have what we call an individual taxpayer identification number, or ITIN. The best way to determine if a family or their children are eligible is to use the Eligibility Assistant on irs.gov. For your second question, right now, those individuals receiving the advanced payments are only getting 50% of the total credit they are eligible for. To get the other half, or the other 50%, taxpayers will need to file a tax year 21 tax return in calendar year 2022, or our next filing season. Does that help?
I believe so. Thank you so much, Mr. Corbin. Okay, so let me just introduce our second speaker before we continue with questions, because she might have the answers to some of those. So that is welcoming Susan Simon, Director, Customer Assistant, Relationships and Education for the IRS. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Pilar, and thank you, Ken, for sharing such great information. I want to talk a little bit about fraud prevention. These credits are a great deal of money in many households. This is more money than they see in one lump sum throughout the year. So it's very important that they ensure that someone else does not get that money. There are fraudsters out there, and they are constantly preying on people who are receiving new money. We have worked very hard with representatives from banks, from other state and federal organizations, and set up a security summit where we look at ways that we can stop identity theft and ensure that the taxpayer gets the money that they have applied for and they are eligible for. Please go to irs.gov/security to see the steps that taxpayers could take to protect themselves from identity theft from someone else claiming the money that is rightfully theirs. And I'm going to say that again. It is irs.gov/security. Also, we will be sending out news releases between now and the filing season and through the filing season. And we will also have our National Tax Security Awareness Week later this fall, when we will send out a large number of releases and information to ensure we spread the word so people can take the proper steps to protect themselves. News releases are important to us. We also have a special season during the year where we call Get Ready for Taxes. This is when we look forward to the next filing season, and we try to help taxpayers gather together the information that they need to do their tax return completely in one sitting, hopefully, so they don't have to start it, go back and get something, start it again. Our Get Ready webpage, irs.gov/getready, is available in 8 languages. It is a great place for taxpayers to find the information they are going to need to file their tax returns. Some of the things they do need to do: gathering their tax records, any bank statements from the IRS. As Ken said, we are sending out letters in December to tell people how much their economic impact payment was and how much they may have received in advance child tax credits. They need to have that information when they file their tax return. If they can, they should be checking the tax withholding estimator on irs.gov. When you do your tax return, if you find that you are not receiving the refund you thought you would, or something has happened in your family over the year that makes your tax return different, maybe a child is added, a child ages out of a benefit, you may want to go in and change things in your W-4 so that your employer is taking out the right amount of withholding. Something new, something very new that we are very, very proud of. This year, there is a Form 9000 that can be attached to the tax return. That's Form 9000. It is the Alternative Media Preference Form. It allows taxpayers to select preferred alternative media. So if they want to receive information from us in Braille or in large print to make it easier, or in audio format, they should submit this form with their tax return to let us know that. Also, very important, one way that we can reduce fraud and help taxpayers receive their refunds fast, easily, safely, is to encourage people to set up a bank account and have their refunds direct deposited. It is a much quicker way to receive the refund. No checks can be stolen out of mailboxes or misdirected. So that is one thing we strongly, very strongly encourage taxpayers to do. Another thing that is important is ensuring that the individual tax identification number is correct. Those folks who do not have a Social Security number and who have already received an ITIN, an individual tax identification number, need to ensure that it has not expired. For tax years 2018, 2019, and 2020, if they did not file a return in any of those years, their ITINs will expire and they will need to get them renewed. We strongly encourage people to renew their ITIN now. Do not wait until you file your tax return. That will slow up your refund. It will cause it to be held while we perfect the ITIN application. So getting those applications in now is very helpful to the taxpayer. And they should check those numbers to make sure that they are current. And now one of the important parts, the part that I love the most, is how can we help you? We have special procedures, we have special people at the IRS, and their whole job is to help taxpayers. We encourage everyone to register for their online tax account. This is something that is available new. If you have not worked with us over the past 5 or 10 years, we have gotten into the 21st century. We are online. We have irs.gov, and you can go online and look at what you have in our records. You can verify your identity online. Some people cannot enter as much information as we need, so we also have a mail option for that. The online account lets taxpayers securely access their personal tax information. It also lets you do things that you would normally have to go to one of our offices to do, or have to call us and wait for the phone to be answered. So we encourage everyone to go to irs.gov and see if you can set up an online account. As Ken said, we have many, many tools, and they are there to assist the taxpayer to make it easier for the taxpayer to file their return, to understand their taxes, and to make corrections. So we strongly encourage that. We're coming up on our filing season. People are going to be looking at how to file a tax return. Some people can sit down at their kitchen table and fill out the form online and send it in with no help. That's not everyone. Some people need help. We have many, many ways for taxpayers to get help. Of course, they can go to a local paid preparer in their community that provides them the safety of knowing that that is someone who is in their community that they have worked with before. We also have Irs Free File online, again at irs.gov. Irs Free File will be up for the next filing season. It allows taxpayers to sit at home, select a tax return preparer through irs.gov, file their tax return with the assistance of that online preparer, and send it in electronically. Again, if they have direct deposit, that makes the whole process quicker, easier, and safer for our taxpayers. Another option is our IRS Vita program, Volunteers in Taxpayer Assistance. We have Vita sites around the country where volunteers will prepare tax returns. Because of COVID, many of our sites had to continue preparing tax returns online this year. We have talked to many of them, and they are trying to open face-to-face sites this coming year so that they can work with their community taxpayers and help them file their tax returns. Our Vita sites can be found on irs.gov as well. I want to put in a special plug here. If anyone is interested in learning a new skill, we also prepare people to be Vita volunteers. Please join us. Come see us. Go to irs.gov, and we have a site where you can actually volunteer to be a tax preparer in your community. It is a volunteer job. You can work 2 hours a week. You can work 40 hours a week. It's a great way to help your community. One thing that we are extremely proud of is the work we have done over the past couple years to increase our services to multilingual taxpayers. Starting this year, all of our Vita sites will have the ability to provide translation services through over-the-phone interpreters in 350 different languages for taxpayers as they prepare their returns. We also have over-the-phone interpreter services on our phone lines coming in to talk to people, ask questions, and resolve account issues. Again, we provide translation in 350 different languages. During the past year, you may have seen that our Form 1040 is now in both English and Spanish to allow our Spanish-speaking taxpayers to read the instructions and complete the form in their native language. We are translating other documents into 5 different languages as well over the next 5 years. These include English, Spanish, Russian, traditional Chinese, formal Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean. Excuse me, we have established foreign language translations on many of our web pages as well. If you go to irs.gov, at the very top of the landing page, you'll see a box that says English with a drop down. If you click on the drop down, you can select the language of your choice and have the content delivered to you in your language. We're very, very proud of the work that we have done to include those languages. We also, yes.
Sorry, we do have a lot of questions here.
Oh, okay.
That would be great.
That's great. I will stop right there. The most important things are there.
Yeah, because reporters.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through the questions. I'm just going to ask the questions directly from the chat because I want to go as fast as possible. So Fatma asked a question about the advanced child tax credit, which I think bears repeating. How long will the program continue? I think.
Yes.
Corbin.
Yes. So the program right now for the advanced child tax credit goes through December of 2021. We would need congressional action for the program to continue past December 2021. So the last advanced child tax credit payment as of today will go out in December of this year.
Okay. You mentioned, Mr. Corbin, that this payment is not taxable from the federal government, and you also mentioned that some states protect these payments from garnishment. But what do you know about this payment being taxable by some states, or no? It's not taxable at all.
So to my knowledge, I have not seen any states that are making these payments taxable. Again, these are advanced payments on a credit that is claimed on a federal tax return. And my experience has been that the vast majority of states do not make those payments taxable.
Okay, there's a couple of good questions here from Khalil Abdullah. The eligibility age for the children, does age 17 extend throughout 2021 until December 31st, or is there a cutoff date within the year? And the second question is, how does a homeless person submit an address?
Got it. So to be eligible for the advanced child tax credit, the dependent or the child must be 17 or younger as of December 31st, 2021. So that age limitation goes through to the end of the calendar year. For the question about a homeless individual or citizen or taxpayer, we have partnerships with over 5,000 homeless shelters. And what we've done is work with them so that our citizens or taxpayers who don't have a mailing address can use the mailing address of the shelter that they typically reside in. I would say work with your homeless advocates in your shelters, ask them, do they have a relationship with us here at the IRS? And then we'll be able to work with them and that taxpayer to ensure they receive their payment.
You mentioned the parents, but what about grandparents or other family members who are raising children who are eligible?
Yes. So we typically say parents, but it really is about the guardian or the caretaker of the children or the dependents who are eligible for the advanced child tax credit payments.
Okay, there's another question here. And I think you mentioned this, but there's a repeating. If parents do not file taxes, can they still get the tax credit checks?
Yes, and that is one of the main messages that we want people to walk away with. You can, if you typically do not file a tax return, you could potentially still be eligible for the child tax credit payments. And that's why it's so important to check out the eligibility assistant or look at the frequently asked questions on irs.gov to determine your eligibility based on your specific circumstances.
You mentioned that singles and couples who have Social Security numbers can claim the credit even if their children have no Social Security numbers. How do you verify those children without a number?
So anyone who claims the credit will either need to have a Social Security number or an individual taxpayer identification number or ITIN. So you will need to, when you file your return, either provide the Social Security number or an ITIN number. And that's why Sue was highlighting that you needed to be sure that you provide that information in order to get the credit. And that is for the earned income tax credit. So, I talked about a couple of different credits here. So what I would encourage people to do is look at the rules for earned income tax credit and the rules for advanced child tax credit. I know it can be very confusing, but Sue, I think you were getting ready to say.
No, I just wanted to clarify again with you, Ken, that yes, those FAQs and our tools are there to allow you to determine your own personal situation and make sure that you are eligible.
Okay, there's a question from Julia, and this might go directly to Susan. What should a person do if they have been charged by the IRS because of someone else claiming EED fraud, filing taxes under my name? This is her personal experience. I have had to pay IRS fees that do not belong to me, and I have asked for a personal ID number back in April via mail and fax and have not received anything. Any advice besides the website?
Yes, besides the website, I would encourage this person to call our 800 number and talk to one of our assisters. They
What's the
can
number?
check, yeah, they can check the account. I have it right here. Let me get it for you. For English and Spanish speaking, it would be 800-829-1040. For other languages, there's a separate number. It is 833-553-9895. Our assisters on the phone can look up account information and help to resolve the issue. If they cannot resolve the issue, they can assist with making an appointment to work face-to-face with one of our assisters in a taxpayer assistance center.
Sunita asked a very good question here. There's an assumption that eligible people have access to a computer or high-speed internet. Those that do not may be vulnerable to hucksters who offer to help. What resources are available to help people verify the authenticity of the people they work with?
Okay, go ahead, Ken.
No, I was just going to say, you know, we held a number of in-person outreach events this summer in over 27 cities where people were able to come into an IRS office and either work with a Vita partner or volunteer who can help them either resolve a tax issue or talk to us here at the IRS to help resolve their questions. I would encourage, there are a number of nonprofits out there that work with us either through our Vita and TCE program that are trusted agents that can provide assistance to those who may not have access to the internet or a smartphone device in order to find out about the credit, but also to help them get the filing or information in so that they can claim the credit. But Sue, what were you getting ready to say as well?
We also, for those people who have some legal situations involving taxes, who have run into problems with people that are fraudsters, they may also want to go to one of our low income tax clinics. These are located in all 50 states. Our taxpayer advocate service works closely with them to ensure that people's rights are protected.
Sunita, you wanted to ask anything further?
I wanted to ask a follow-up question of both speakers. The program is structured in the form of direct payments. I wonder how, you verify that these payments are actually benefiting the children for which they were intended for, rather than, I don't know, using or used for other reasons. Sorry for the weird structure of that question.
No, that's an excellent question. You know, one of the things that we have to trust in the communities is that when people come in and get this benefit, that they use the benefit in an appropriate manner to be able to assist the children that it's intended for. I mean, that is what this credit is about. Right. You know, for us in the IRS to verify how people are using the credit is difficult for us to do. But I will say, we have looked at a lot of social media. We do look at how people come in and tell us stories. And when we work with nonprofits and advocacy groups, they share with us back stories of how people have either purchased school supplies with the first payments that went out in this summer. Others have talked to us about how they have been able to pay tuition for technical colleges for their children who are trying to go through school. We even have examples of where people, aftercare institutions, have come in and shared with us how people are now able to pay for child and dependent care after school hours to take care of kids. So it comes in a variety of ways, from our partners in the retail industry that tell us that people are coming in and talking to their clerks about being able to buy milk and eggs and things that are needed for their children. That's not to say that there are people out there that could be bad players, right? I mean, we know there are people out there probably not using the money appropriately. But we have to put the benefit out there and then trust that the parents or guardians are doing what's needed to help bring children out of poverty.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. And just for the last few minutes, I want to ask each of you to talk a little bit about your careers in the IRS, how long you've been there. Often when we hear IRS, it's a little bit scary. So it's a good thing to have a human face. And also, if you were an editor, what is the headline they would want us to use to write our stories? That's the test.
Oh, that's a test. Oh, wow, that's tough. So Sue, I'll go first. So I've been with this agency since 1986. I started in high school, actually, working on weekends as a clerk. And since that time, I've had the opportunity to enjoy a number of different positions that has allowed me to be in service to taxpayers and to citizens. I'm actually a chemist by degree, but my whole job or my whole vision in life was to be able to serve and help others. And the IRS has allowed me to do that. Service is in our name. And I would say to the media outlets out there, we are hiring and we need more people in our agency to reflect the communities that we serve. So I'd encourage anyone who is interested in joining us here at the IRS to go to usajobs.gov. That's usajobs.gov in order to join us here throughout the country so that we can be in each community and make sure that your community is represented in tax administration. The headline I would probably share that for anyone who is here with us today is that the IRS is here to help. And I would say here to help with a variety of ways to help people. And I would say that help comes through choice, which allows people to choose how they interact with us, and access, coming in either online or on the phones or in writing in a variety of different languages. I know it's too long. I know too long, Peter. I know. I would just say, I don't know, Sue probably has a better headline than me. Sue, talk about you. I think about that question.
Okay, so Ken's headline's got to be set in 4-point type. It's a little bit too long for a headline, but it's a great information. So I started with the IRS in 1994 after my husband retired from the Marine Corps and after I got out of the Marine Corps and the Marine Corps Reserves. I started in a taxpayer assistance office, one of those walk-in offices where we stood at a counter and we helped people one by one. And it was it was a wonderful experience. I just can't say more. You had a feeling that you have really done something, made a difference in someone's life when you could explain something to them and tell them, no, you're not in trouble. We're here to really help you and I will do what I can. So that's where I got my start and I've stayed there. That's still part of my job. And Ken gets a little angry sometimes when I say, hey, I'm going to go to New York and work in the TAC for a day. I have to get my fix. I really have to work with my taxpayers. My history in the Marine Corps and in civilian jobs was I was a journalist. I was a public affairs person for the Marine Corps. And so I know how to write headlines. They should be short and they should grab your attention. My headline would be, they really do help, because we do. That's what we're there for, to help people.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready with my headline. I would say what you need to know to get ready for filing season 2022.
All right.
That's still only 12 points.
Still too long?
But I can shorten Ken's headline to IRS is here to help in 350 languages.
Love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I don't know, Sandy, if you want to say goodbye.
Well, you guys get the gold star. I think our interpreters are never going to recover. Everybody will be held to your standard. And you really do exude that service. It had never occurred to me IRS had service in its name, but you certainly make that clear that that's what it's about. Thank you very much.
The interpreter is sending love to both.
Thank you. Please have us
Thank
back.
From
you.
the chat.
Yes, please let us come back and see you.
Okay.
And happy Friday, happy weekend.